There is so much to unpack here, so I'm pleased to welcome Susan Hendricks back to the program. She's a longtime TV journalist and author of Down the Hill, My Descent into the Double Murder in Delphi. And P.S., she was there for every day of Richard Allen's trial. Oh, Susan, it's great to have you back, especially, reading all of that and now seeing it sort of through that very condensed lens. What do you make of this four-part mistaken, motion?
Yeah, good to see you, Ashleigh. I think back to the victim impact statements during sentencing, and I think of the family members, and a lot of them, including Becky and Mike, that's Libby's grandparents, also Abby's grandparents, mentioning the defense attorneys. To me, I've never heard of such a thing, and saying you made this worse for us, talking about the leaked crime scene photos. And I feel like, Ashleigh, it's like, here we go again. They had the trial to bring that in. It was in discovery. I believe in the appeals process, of course. Most cases, double murder, it's given. But this isn't actually the appellate team. So I feel like it's another way of saying, hey, could be Ron Logan. He was investigated. He was a name that was brought up. I'm not saying either that Ron Logan was a great person, a great man. I don't know that. What I am saying is that he was investigated. It was his property early on, 2 search warrants on his property. And I think it's a really low blow, again, I guess, to the families. Did you ever watch Friday the 13th, Ashleigh, when you think it's all over and then he comes jumping up? I feel like that. It's like, come on. The appeals process, again, these aren't the appellate attorneys. I feel like we should hear from them instead of the same defense attorneys. I may be biased, and I understand there's a lack of transparency because no cameras in the courtroom. I get that. But I was in there. And this, to me, is just another low blow, in my opinion.
It can feel that way for sure. But when you're talking about your entire life for the, behind bars, what did he get, 130 years or something like that? They really have to throw every Hail Mary that they can, his defense lawyers. And the fact that, the fact that Ron Logan talked about a box cutter, apparently, because again, this is Ron Logan in jail, speaking to another inmate in jail, and then the other inmate in jail handing over what he says are, confession notes. So take it for what it's worth. But the fact that a box cutter was mentioned, is that information that bled out anyway into the public, and that was something that could have been seized on by an inmate and written up after he'd heard it was out there in the zeitgeist? Or is that news that couldn't have been known by anybody but the killer?
No, exactly what you said is point on. It was mentioned at a hearing at the end of July, beginning of August, and it was Detective Holman who mentioned that about the box cutter, that Richard Allen allegedly spoke about it to Dr. Walla during one of his alleged confessions that was now proven that he did confess to, the jury believed that, to Dr. Walla in the prison. So the box cutter was out there, you're right, at the end of the summer. But keep in mind that Ron Logan passed away, sadly, of COVID. So I don't know exactly if that information is reliable, considering the source and what he's in prison for, not just drug charges, but for theft. And I take it with a grain of salt. It's unclear. Now, all of a sudden, it's coming up. If it was stated by this prisoner after the hearing, then I think it was, maybe he just wants attention.
So what about the cell phone? This has been disturbing to me since the get-go, that the cell phone data showed that some jack of some kind, some sort of headphone jack or a plug of some kind, went into that phone and out of that phone, presumably sometime after, hours after those girls were dead. How can that be explained if the defense says there's no water, there's no dirt in there to corrupt the data?
Well, the prosecution, because of course, when you're in there every single day, it was a 30-day trial, it was uncovered by the prosecution that it could be some sort of dirt or water that was there. And I was at the crime scene. It was the day after the sentencing. And I went there for the first time. I had been to the bridge, but really where the bodies were discovered. And it's so thick and dense and such a deep wooded area. And they believe it was water and dirt that was able to, that is why it was compromised in a way. Because Ashleigh, if you think about it, common sense, if someone did murder these girls, they wouldn't go back to kind of plug something in that phone. So I think common sense wins there. And also there was discussion from the defense Were they brought back to the scene? Well, the search went on all night. I don't know. This feels in this document and what we're reading just another way that the defense is kind of getting in their narrative where they're protected by these documents to name names. And they've been doing interviews, and I don't think they've named any of the names just in these documents again.
It's all fascinating.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.